Hi guys, welcome back to the Tech Chapter. ASUS have kindly lent me one of their entry-level gaming notebooks. This is the 15.6-inch Republic of Gamers Edition GL552VW. Catchy name. They call it entry level, and it may well be for a gaming laptop, but at £900 or $1,000, it certainly ain't cheap. So what are you actually going to get for your money? Well, you can get the laptop in various configurations, but this one has a Skylake i5-6300HQ, 8GB of RAM, a 15.6-inch 1080p, so a full HD screen, and importantly, a dedicated 960M NVIDIA graphics card. The 960 is fairly mid-range, and mobile graphics cards are significantly less powerful than their desktop counterparts, but it's actually surprisingly capable. The laptop dynamically switches between the integrated graphics chip and the dedicated card depending on whether it's plugged into the charger. So as you can see, I'm playing Hitman, and it's currently running on the integrated chip on medium settings. It's pretty unplayable. We're lucky if we get double-digit frame rates, but then watch what happens when I plug the laptop in. The 960M kicks in, and wow, what a difference. A solid 40 to 45 frames per second. Totally playable, even though Hitman is quite a demanding game. The 960M is definitely a mid-range card, but it's so much better than integrated graphics, and as you'd expect, for a gaming laptop it makes games absolutely playable. Fallout 4 at max settings, running at the laptop's native 1080p resolution, also runs fairly smoothly at around 30 frames per second, although I prefer to lower the settings a bit or maybe drop the res down to 720p to boost the frame rate. But it's totally playable at max settings and shows just how powerful the 960M and this laptop is for gaming. But as well as having a dedicated graphics card, what makes this laptop feel fast in just general use is its solid state drive. This model has a 120GB SSD and a 1TB hard drive, which is a great combination of speed and storage space. Windows is installed on the SSD, so boot times and generally using Windows feels fast and responsive, while you can still install all your Steam games and put all your videos on the main hard drive. But what really lets the laptop down is its screen. It is 1080p, which I do appreciate. It's sort of the best resolution you want for gaming, because anything like a Quad HD or 4K resolution would just completely destroy your frame rate. So for the 960M, the 1080p res is exactly what you want. But even though it's a matte panel, which I do like, it's TN. So as you can see, the viewing angles are pretty atrocious. Unless you're looking at absolutely dead on, the brightness just goes horrible, colors fade. It's pretty awful. But even when you are in this sweet spot looking at it, there's just no vibrancy or pop to the colours. Looking at the screen even a few degrees off centre just, radically alters the colour accuracy. It is quite bad, and it's such a shame. I definitely prefer to have perhaps a HDMI out to an external monitor rather than playing on the laptop itself. I'm also not really a fan of the laptop's design. I don't mind this bit so much, the ASUS ROG. It looks quite stylish, but it's got a cheap plastic texture. It's just all a bit plasticky and tacky. At 2.6 kilograms, it's actually not unreasonably heavy for a gaming laptop, so you could definitely put this in your backpack, but it's still pretty chunky. The bezels are quite big, and with a poor display as well, the whole thing just feels and looks a bit cheap. As for battery life, it's not actually too bad. I had this fully charged, opened Netflix and played an hour of film, and then after an hour it had dropped 20%, so you can get about 5 hours of video watching from this, and around 3 hours of general web browsing and office use. And perhaps some listening to music as well. If you want to game without the power plugged in, which I wouldn't recommend, you only get about an hour to an hour and a half tops, but I think pretty much if you're going to be gaming on this, you will want the battery plugged in. But even though the laptop doesn't feel or even look that great, I do actually quite like the trackpad and the keyboard. The red backlit chiclet style keys are comfortable and easy to type on. There's a good amount of travel as well, but they do feel a little bit spongy. The big glass trackpad, on the other hand, is really good. There are a few Windows laptops that have a nice trackpad like this, so that's really pleasing to see. As for sound quality, a good pair of headphones will always be your best option, but the built-in speakers aren't too bad actually.
Eagle, heron, peacock, warrior, mountain tree, rabbit, fish, locust, king pigeon, and of course, downward duck.
We're gonna come in again.
If I'm honest, I'm not completely sold on the idea of gaming laptops, but there is a market for them, and if you are looking to buy a new one, I don't think I could recommend this ASUS GL552VW. The 960M is surprisingly capable, but in my opinion, the ugly design, the poor TN screen, and relatively high price for an entry-level gaming laptop is disappointing. But as always, let me know what you think and whether you're a fan of gaming laptops in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and please do subscribe, like, and share if you enjoy my videos, and I'll see you again right here on the Tech Chat.